Welcome back to the corner with Dr. Vernell Hooker. That's a doctorate in education. And he's going to educate us some more right now, because now he's going to give us the top 5 tips to do when transitioning from relaxer, which I did so many years ago.
God, it seems so long ago.
It was so long ago, but I made a boo-boo. But I'm not going to tell my boo-boo now. I'm going to let you go on and tell them what they need to do so they won't make the boo-boo I made. Right. So what are those?
Well, these are my
in your
top
opinion.
5. Yeah, my top 5.
Make sure you put that in there. That disclaimer, in your opinion.
My opinion.
Okay.
Number 1, you do not have to do the full chop. I know that kind of hits some people in the head real good. But
deep in my soul, deep in my spirit.
But Stephanie, you do not have to do the big chop, as they say, because it's going to take time. Of course, when you deal, I'm learning now when I deal with, because I work with the texture team. I'm on the texture team for Farouk Systems.
All right.
We've had an opportunity to have a platform to deal with textured hair. And one thing I do tell them when we do hair shows, texture takes time. T equals T. Texture equals time.
Okay.
So it takes time to do certain things.
Okay.
Now, I know, just like you and maybe some people out there in podcast land,
Right.
feel their hair is at wit's end and there's nothing that can be done.
Yeah, because when you transition,
Right.
you have two different textures.
Yes, you do.
And-
you have something going on.
Yeah, it's something going on. Like,
You act like it's a fight against good and evil or
it
something
is.
like. Well, typically, when someone does a full chop, now I'm not saying it's not a bad thing to do a full chop if that's your personality.
Right.
Considering how many years I've been around you, I'm shocked that you did that. I don't know if,
am too.
Garland made you mad or one of the
No.
girls did when they were.
No, it was just as I was transitioning, and I know when I say this, and I want you to help me with this because I don't talk. When I was transitioning, it felt like my hair was hurting, and I know that sounds crazy. It was like I could just. It's like I could feel my hair.
But you know what, too? And to give you a little slack is really because, okay you've been with me, 16, 17 years? So things have really evolved as far as transitioning from relaxer to
More stuff.
To natural.
Okay.
And I know people out there say, well, Stephanie, you sitting there with a head full of color, you're not natural. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Please touch on that.
Because, I know that's it's like 6 in one hand, half a dozen in another. When I say natural, I am strictly meaning sodium hydroxide free.
Okay.
That's all I mean.
Okay.
Sodium hydroxide free.
Right.
No thio, no whatever, no straight. It's just in this natural state.
Okay.
Okay, and we use product and tools to smooth it and to make it more controlled. The bonds have not, for those stylists out there, the bonds have not been permanently transformed at all.
Right.
Because in the summertime, which your hair, you've been for a while. And
It's trained.
and I hate to use the word trained,
I know,
Stephanie, but
that's not a good word.
Well, I'm not gonna say it's not a good word,
Okay.
but for everyone to understand, yes, your hair has been trained. In other words, regardless of the humidity, because we live in Mississippi,
Right.
You will be able to, you can retard a lot of the humidity because your hair is so used to being shampooed, blow dry, and pressed per se.
Right.
But that's when I say natural, that is what I mean, sodium hydroxide free.
Okay.
Because I know people's like, oh, she got a head full of color. She's not natural.
And then, they say, well, you're not natural when you wear it in the straight state. What makes it natural is when it's in the curly state.
No, that's not
They
true.
say that too.
Because you think about it, it's nothing permanent. So you are in a natural state.
Because if you throw some water on this head
Right now, exactly. Yeah, we should have done one half for the camera. One half bush and one half okay.
Not me.
Drink to that.
Not me.
But it's just about educating your clients.
That's true.
Sometimes we, as stylists, we put ourselves in a position to educate you guys.
Right.
And I know everyone has Google. And everyone's been to hair school because of the Sally's or any other.
Right.
Well, that's the only place that I know unlicensed
People can go in.
And when they look in a magazine and they see that someone's hair is such and such.
Right.
Well, I can go to Sally's and pick that up and get the same thing. No, you can't. But you know, it's all good.
That's true.
I welcome any client that knows just as much as more or more than me. But your hair tells the story, and
True.
the cost will too. It is
True, because you know I went on a field trip with you.
Yeah, we've been on a couple.
To the professional.
Oh yeah, I forgot that
You know what? I went in there and I was
Yes.
like, I think you picked up like, I guess you said I gotta really, you need not take me nowhere because I remember too much.
Because you do remember a lot.
too much. So I think we went in and you was just getting like some color. And when you got through the bill, I'm telling you the business,
That's
but it's okay.
Yeah.
It was like $300 and I was like, I looked at you and I was like, and we want to know why you charge what you charge. Or, you know, we always concerned about the prices, but we don't think about the back end.
Correct. And it's so funny. I'm glad you brought that point up because we've discussed off camera with things in person because you know you have other business ventures going on. You have to know your worth. Stephanie, when I give a client a bill verbally, they just usually, whatever I tell them, they do because first of all, they're getting great service.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they've enjoyed the time we've had an opportunity to talk,
Right.
get to know each other. And I don't deviate from that because I know what I pay to get good quality products.
Yeah.
Because I think about you guys in mind. I mean, I have people call me all the time. This is so funny. We own this because I received a call last week of an individual who's going through some things. She's not going through some things, but she needs to do her hair at home, and she couldn't get to the salon. And she says, Vern, what can I use? I felt bad because I didn't know what to tell her.
Right.
Because she couldn't get here to get some of the retail items we have here at the salon. She said, you don't know anything on over the counter? I said, no ma'am, I don't. I said, because I think that's a good way to be. I don't. And I never have anything in here that you can buy over the counter. Now, with diversions or something, you may see some cheap stuff. I'm not saying you don't see cheap stuff in some stores. I'm just saying, I purchased from a professional distributor.
Yeah, because you told me about that one time because I was asking you because, we get products for you for our hair. And I was asking you about the cheap products. You said, yeah, it may be, but it's not the ones that I use.
Correct. A lot of those things I don't use.
Right.
And I don't use them because they're in those particular places. I just know what works best for my clients.
Right.
So I'm really, really big I'm committed to making sure that you have the best experience when it comes to your hair.
Right.
And one thing I have found out and I love when it comes to women, it only takes one compliment.
And it's over.
It only takes one compliment for you guys for me to be up on a pedestal somewhere.
Wherever you go.
It's like, and I've had them, and it's a client of mine. She still comes today, and I tell her this story. She was going to a funeral. To make it short, she was going to a funeral, and I wanted to do something different for her to her hair, and this is a good friend that she was burying, so she was kind of going through probably some things with, handling and processing her death as well as coming into the salon and how dare Vern try to tell me what to do or what I need.
Right.
Well, I told her and and I didn't tell her. Well, I told her what we were going to do, and I also performed the service. Well, I was also at the same funeral. Well, when I was sitting there, she gets up and goes to the podium.
Right.
I mean, I'm not bragging, Stephanie, but I was like, her hair is beautiful.
And you did.
It's like every time she walked,
and
her
you
house
did.
Like,
and you admired it.
Yeah, I'm like, God, she looks good. So she walking and she walks with a little bop. And she gets to the podium and she does her thing and she walks back to the chair, to her seat. Well, at the end of the funeral, I'm talking like I normally would, because I live in a small town. So
right, of course.
I kind of know a lot of, know some people, let's say that. And she sees me. It's like a deer caught a headlight. She comes straight to me
you.
and she says, Vern, I'm so sorry. I mean, people like, I said, you gotta understand it. It's just something that happened earlier. She said, I would never say anything to you. And you know what? She did from that day to this day, she never said anything else. She never questioned my motives.
Right.
What I was doing for her hair.
Right.
Because I just trust you the way you guys trust me. I trust you as well.
Right.
Because I know it takes,
a lot.
It does. It's according to what's going on,
Yeah, and then, like to me, and I know for my classy ladies, is that our hair is our crowning glory.
Right.
And we really want to take care of it. And, sometimes, letting go. Now, I've been free from mine for,
Yes, you have for quite some time.
quite some time. So it's fine for me. So you said the number one reason is you don't have to do the big chop. So
Right.
we're going to get number two for how you
Number two,
transition to
I
relax.
always say find a stylist.
So you
Find a
don't-
great stylist.
So you saying don't try to transition on your
On your
own.
own.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Find a stylist, which I
Okay.
guess that could have been number one, but I just wanted to get an attention getter about
Right.
you don't have to do a big chop in order to transition from relaxer to natural. Find your stylist. When you find that stylist, hopefully you build a rapport, and hopefully it's built on you found a stylist through recommendations from your friend
Right.
or someone you may know personally that you really never thought about using any of their services because that wasn't the case with you at that time.
Right.
If you're getting a relaxing, the thing in my city, Stephanie, some people still think I don't do relaxers.
Yeah, you do them
I do them, but
twice a year, but you do
yeah,
'em.
I mean, a thing of relaxer lasts me forever now, So,
Or do you do them twice a year?
well, I have a great client, God rest her soul. She's passed on now. And she said, I think she used to do it now that I think about it. She would do it just to get a rise out of me.
Right.
She had a beautiful texture of hair. Vern, you giving me a relaxer for Easter. I don't know what it was about Easter.
But that's our thing in
I'm
our
like,
culture.
You're not getting the relaxer. You don't need it. Oh, you giving me a relaxer. I mean, like, you gonna beat me up if I don't give it to you. But I say to say this, relaxer lasts me a long time because usually the people that find me or, that I meet for whatever reason, we develop that relationship, not only personally, but professionally.
Right.
And we start to go through the transition together. Even though I don't have any hair, we start to go through it together. So, and it's not that I'm going by personal experience, but because of you guys,
Right.
I have learned so much through working with you guys for years
Right.
that I can tell someone new, this is okay. Stephanie, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you. When someone walks through the door, whether they're transitioning, whether they're coming just for color, whether they're coming for whatever, I never see, I don't pay attention to what I'm seeing then. I can see where it goes.
in the future.
And see, I think too that enables you to calm down a little bit.
Okay.
And say, okay, like I had this client. She's funny. She said,
You got to say that for the hair stories.
okay. Remind me to tell you that one.
I will. Okay.
And because I see where it's going. Because I'm not saying what you're saying is not important, but I want you to know you're in the hands of a professional now.
Right.
Whatever the care is, whatever the questions, we can answer those. Whatever the decisions we need,
Right.
we will make them. I tell you exactly the reason why we're doing it, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Number three, develop a schedule where you come weekly or bi-weekly. Depends on your schedule. I mean,
Okay. Your budget.
your budget.
Okay. So you're saying to us in order for this transition to correctly work, you gotta put in this time and realize that you
Exactly.
got to come to the salon.
You have to
You
come to the
can't
salon.
come twice a year.
No, and that's why I say budget. I would recommend. This is just my recommendation.
Yeah.
I would recommend coming weekly or bi-weekly.
Right.
Depending on the texture or depending on how much new growth
Yeah.
or how fast the hair is growing, sometimes I may say 3 weeks. Let's try 3 weeks for the first time. But usually they call it back because
It didn't. They having an
2
issue.
weeks is your most.
Yeah.
The most you probably get out of it where you're still getting compliments and you're like, oh, I go to the hair salon tomorrow. I'm still getting compliments.
Right,
So
right.
after that, that's what I recommend. And the transition is very smooth. And that stylist can put you on a rotation. Like, I have with you guys. Basically, whether you do online or whether you do, the stylist does handheld, before you leave that chair, we need to,
Make an appointment.
yes, for the next service.
Yes, you do.
And then we need to tell you,
Especially at Anteco. But go ahead.
and we tell you what to expect the next one.
Right.
We also discussed at that time, we'll discuss cost, what it will be for the next time.
Right.
So we go from there. My next tip, number 4, once you're going weekly and bi-weekly, hydration is very important. Well, hydration is not just a hydrating shampoo or hydrating conditioner.
Okay.
It's also hydration when it comes to water.
So we gotta drink water.
You have to drink water.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to get all herbalist and deep. If you can kind of go through a detox while you're going through your transition, that's even better.
I ain't never thought about that.
Yes, because everything's controlled in your gut.
Ah.
And everything's in your gut comes out somewhere.
Okay, Erica.
Yes, my Erica.
Yes.
Oh.
We don't want to talk about her.
Yes.
But that's all I hear all the time.
Oh, yes, Erica, yes.
Yeah, even with your hair.
And going to her, she's taught me so much. And she doesn't even live here.
Right.
But
hydration is key.
Hydration, detoxing, taking care of your gut because it's in your skin and your hair.
Right.
Everything comes out. So once you properly hydrate, I can do what's on the outside, but I'm gonna need help from you by coming and doing your part as far as your intake of things.
So it's a team.
It's a team effort. That's why you remember I told you in the beginning when we started this, I said I walk with you, even though I don't have any hair. I walk through this process with you.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I've learned through you guys what works. If I need to tweak some things, because I'm not saying this is a regimen. Pretty much the regimen that I'm giving now works for anybody.
Yeah.
You just have to find your niche within that regimen.
Okay.
For a particular person.
Okay.
How often do they come, what their diet is like. Because if a person drinks a 6-pack of Coke every day, well, not because I told them drink water. Do you think they're gonna go home and drink water? Oh no, it's a process.
It's a process. It
Now
is.
let's bring the 6 Cokes down to 3 Cokes today, and take the
Other three
3
and do water. Okay. We making progress.
We're making progress.
Right. Okay.
'Cause
That's why my hair grows so fast.
Because you caught it.
Yeah.
And it's not. Not only did you trust me with that information, you believe it, and you got the results that you need.
I did.
You know.
I have those results. Y'all see this? Okay.
Drink to that, though.
Drink to that. Okay, and number 5.
And number 5 is patience.
Ooh, I got to drink on that.
Okay, when you
Patience is
drink,
hard.
because
It's
when I
hard.
tell you,
Oh my gosh.
we talk about sometimes at younger people, but sometimes we just as bad. We are so microwave.
That's why I do.
That's not even I guess a word or phrase. We so microwavable. We just, when we see it in a magazine,
We
we
just want it.
want it right then. If we see that color, we want it right then. Now, mind you, we have 3 strands on our head that need to be conditioned, trimmed. I said cut off. I said trimmed.
Yes.
To get to that picture.
Right. And we just don't have the patience.
No, we just,
We don't have it.
Because
I don't.
I can't Photoshop you in real life.
Wouldn't that be nice? It'd be easier
I
for
probably would
you.
never work again. Will I?
But you know what? That's why I did the big chop. No patience, because the textures was
Right.
fighting, and I didn't know what to do because I'm not a professional. So, and that's not my ministry. So that's all I
love
need. That's what I needed to do. And I thought, well, this is what I need. And then I was in all of these groups, and like you saying for us, you need to get a stylist. And stop
Correct.
getting in groups
Right.
that's telling you stuff that don't have no license, certificates, or nothing. They just giving you their opinion. And that's what happened to me. And then I come over here when I finally find you, because that's a whole nother episode. I done went around the world and back and come back and found you. And then when I get here and I walk in and I'm telling you my hair is short, and I say to you, well, I had to cut my hair up. I was transitioning too. And you looked at me and you was like, you didn't have to cut your hair. And I'm like, huh? No, you didn't have to. I was like, oh, it's too late now. I'm bald-headed now.
But you know what, Stephanie? Again, I give you a pass because you didn't.
I know,
The
I
things
didn't know.
back then. Think about it, that's 15 plus years ago.
really is.
What
A long
we're dealing
time.
with now and the things that we have in
Right.
order for the transition to be even more smooth,
Yeah.
we didn't have then.
Right.
And if we did, I just said it like this. I wasn't educated on it to educate you guys.
Right.
And you are dealing with 2 different textures.
Right.
You're dealing with, no disrespect, you're dealing with the smooth and you're dealing with the bald. So when you're
And they don't work
they
together.
don't. Okay, so that's the purpose of what I think is so valuable and to give is that because we want to keep that's bald. We want to keep it. Eventually, we want to keep it smooth as well because smooth there's no friction
Right.
involved. I know I'm getting deep and getting practical with it. You know, it's like what iron sharpens iron. It didn't say a Brillo pad sharpens iron.
Right.
Okay, you know, so there needs to be some, and I know people's like that doesn't even go together. But what I'm saying is the consistency of the hair.
Right.
There needs to be some consistency somewhere. So that's what we provide here. We provide the consistency.
Right.
Now, it may not be bone straight like the relaxer hair.
Right.
But if it has
A little
80%
bit.
wave,
Right.
you know, 80% relaxed, that's better than this. That's better than it being coiled.
Right.
So
That's a good word, coil.
yes, that's
Yeah.
so much better, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, of course you learn, and that's another episode too, to go into the different types of hair, because I have people ask, you know, it goes from 1 to 4, and it goes 1 A, B, C, 2 A, B, C, 3 A,
I
B,
never
C,
understood
and 4 A,
that.
B,
Because
C.
people was like
Because-
telling me, you need to identify the texture. I'm
well,
like, I
a
don't
normal
know.
person wouldn't, and I hate, I'm not putting it to be ugly.
Right.
A person who's not in the hair industry wouldn't understand it. Why
Right.
would you understand it?
I don't know.
You know, that's if I'm out of my element, you need to educate me too on it.
Right.
You know?
No, that's it.
That's it. So that's the part about the patience part that comes with it, and when you see it, and
The end result.
oh my God,
That's it.
I have never had anyone who I should say stood the test of time come back and tell me they regret it.
Really? Now, and I know we have to do time because I know everybody's textures is different. So if you could give us a hypothetical time frame, how long do you think it takes them in this transition process? Is it like 6 months, or is it a year, or?
I always say, Stephanie, with you, because it was a big chop, there was no
Nah, I
transition period. We were just waiting on growth.
Yeah.
Which you're one of those individuals. Growth was never an issue.
No.
I mean, you know,
Nah, because I hydrate.
growth was never
Yeah.
an issue. I mean, your hair would grow probably overnight. You know, Rapunzel, but you know,
Right. Because you just cut my hair, what, 2 years ago?
I mean, less than 2 years, you got a head full of
Right.
hair again. So but the patient part comes in when I always say, and clients are like, I don't see any growth. And I'm not being ugly. I say, you see it every day. But take a picture. I'm telling your podcast listener, take a picture.
Right.
Take a picture when you start the process
And as you go.
as you go.
And you will see.
Every 3 months, take a picture.
And you will see the
And you're going to see the results. You're going to see and I hate to give time frames, but always approximate. Play the game for 2 years
2 years.
and see where you end up.
You see how quickly I wanted it. I said 6
Yeah,
months to
6
a
months,
year.
6 months, yeah.
'Cause
Play the
that-
game 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years. Now, am I saying all the relaxer will have grown out by then? I'm not saying that, because as a stylist, of course, they're gonna continue to trim your ends. Well,
Right.
eventually they're gonna trim all the relaxer off.
Right.
You know, and that could be
But
step
while
by
they
step.
trimming the relaxer, you got the other part coming
You
too.
have the other, and see, a lot of times you don't even think about it until once you shampoo,
That's when you see it.
whew, you see everything. Because see, your stylists, they make it look good when you go out when you leave the salon.
Right.
I mean, you look like a cover girl. So it's like
Right.
So it's all in place. It's all polished. So you don't know until you put water on it and you allow them to see, like, oh my God, my hair really is growing.
That's true.
And that's what I can be patient, because this is what I do for a living.
Yeah. But it's just us looking in the magazine and think we want to have
Well,
our
yeah,
hair like
you know,
that.
the
You have to
magazines are-
invest in some things and stuff.
And I think too, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you want to look like that particular individual. I think you guys should be beautiful.
Right.
Whatever beauty is to you, I think you should have that.
Right.
And you have to have the right stylist to say, okay, we can do that, Stephanie. Or be honest enough to say, well, Stephanie,
we can't
let's do such and such to get to this point.
Right.
You know.
Because that's like for me, you know, when I get out, I come in, and since I've learned my lesson, we're going to talk about this a little more, doing the crazy hair stories. I'm going to wait on that. Okay, I'm going to ask you this. How do you continue to learn to stay on top of things within the hair industry?
Stephanie, I made a commitment early to always I call them continual ed classes, but go to classes.
So you still go to class?
I still go to
After
classes.
20-some years?
I still go.
Really?
And love it.
You don't know it all?
I don't.
Okay.
Never thought I did. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you what. What my instructor, my cosmetology instructor, told me 20 plus years ago.
Right.
She said, "Fake it till you make it."
So
it looks good to y'all in the salon, like I may know everything, but I really, really don't. That's okay. But I can tell you this: what I do know, I know well.
what you do know?
I know well,
What
and I
you
work
learn,
it,
and you
and I continue to add to it. It's like almost if you make a cake, and you just take the cake mix, and you just add water to it. Well, you didn't know that you had to add butter,
and
eggs,
sugar.
a little bit of it,
Vanilla.
whatever the ingredient. Okay, because you're a baker, you understand.
I understand
But what
that.
I'm saying is,
And I
in the
don't use
beginning-
cake mix, but go ahead.
Okay. Then you know. You really know. Okay, just make it from scratch.
Right.
You just got flour and water.
Yeah.
Well, you just have flour and water. That's how I was as a hairstylist.
Right.
But I can do wonders with that flour and water.
Yes, you can.
And I was blessed enough, and I'm not bragging. I just thank God
It's not
that He allowed me
I want
to
you to
work
stop
in.
saying that. No, you're not bragging, but you know what you know. And if you
Right.
know what you know, you done earned it. You can speak it and say it,
You're
especially
exactly
in the
right.
corner. Say what you want.
Say what I'm saying. I appreciate it. I'm
Speak
at
it
home
from your
Marty.
chest. Come
From
on.
my heart. Speak from my heart.
Your heart.
And I went with it. I used to work within my parameters of the
Right.
flour and the water.
Right.
But then He allowed me to go to classes, meet other professionals, have them in my phone where we have contacts.
So
and
what
to
you're
learn.
saying is you're teachable still.
Still, you have to be, yes.
So you're saying in order to stay abreast and keep it, you got to get education and you got to be able to be teachable. Because you know how some of us get to the point where we think, oh, I know it all.
Yeah.
But you can always learn something.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And you know what's so funny about it? When I teach classes, I always ask in the class, how long, I don't want to know, when you give me your introduction of who you are, tell me how long you've been in the industry.
Right.
Because I want to know. I want to know. And I'm going to tell you this, the times I've been in class, sometimes you have a heckler, and what I mean about a heckler, one who don't want to be told anything or whatever, but it's like, why are you here? Why are you wasting my time? But I can handle that, but that's another
Right.
episode.
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay, that's another
how
episode.
you handle things.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
But the ones that have been in there 25, 30 years, they're so meek. They're
And
so
humble.
mild. And they come to you later on, or they text you later on and say thank you.
Right.
Because like you said, they're teachable.
Teachable.
And I want to be like that as long as I'm here. Because that makes you even better. See, then that's when you add the butter. I didn't know to add the butter in the beginning.
Right.
Then that's when you add the sugar.
Right.
Didn't know, tastes so good with sugar. Oh, a little vanilla extract. It's getting even better.
Right.
Until you get all the pieces and you continue to add pieces to it. And then you bake it. And then you pleased at the product that you have put out.
Because it looks good.
Yes, because you have put it in the time. First of all, you listen to someone.
Right.
Show you the steps and tell you what to add to make it just right. Now, I always say, as hairstylists, we have to tweak it for ourselves.
Yeah.
For our personality, for
That's
what we
with
deal
everything.
That's
That's
with everything.
right.
I don't know, and you know, we've discussed this before. There's certain things I don't do now here. I very seldom, well, no, I don't do any rod sets. I don't do weave. I don't do those type of things. Am I against them? No.
But that's just not your.
I specialize in what works for me and what I have tweaked in order to present to the world that it is great.
Right. And you've learned, because I know it was something that you had told me a long time ago, and you said you try to make the products and your tools work for you
Exactly.
and not the other way around. You know, like, because you know how, like, most of us, whenever we in a profession, we try to get the most expensive everything. Well, I need this, I need that, and I look at you and you have like basic. I don't like I said they basic too, because I know they're expensive. Because I did buy a curler that I don't use, but anyway.
Hey, but it's a good curl.
But it's a good curl.
Right.
It's a
So
good,
whenever
the
you
best
need
one.
it, whenever you need.
But it's the best one I've ever had, and I have bought many of them. But when I decided to order one from you, it was like, man, I should have been getting my tools from Burnell, you know. But you know, you have to.
Stephanie, it's just putting a stylist at an advantage. Where you work, what they say, work smart, not hard.
Yeah. Work
And I've
smarter,
learned,
not harder. Yeah.
And I've learned that, and that's what I'm so grateful for the hair company I work for, because it's allowed me to do that.
Yeah.
It's allowed me to work smart. It's allowed me to be creative in some ways. I still work in my what I consider my expertise.
Okay.
And that's the reason why when some people come to me and say certain things or ask about certain things, I'll be like, no, I don't do those. I don't braid. I don't have anything against anyone who does. I'm just saying my specialty.
You just in your lane.
I'm in my lane.
And you
And I
stay
have
in there.
perfected my
My
lane.
lane.
And I continue to add
to
to
your
that
lane.
to make it even better.
Right. Because you really have, because when I tell you the packing the lunch to go to the salon, I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore. But anyway,
That could be a horror story. But I mean,
in one, it is a horror story, but we'll talk about that. Like as we say, that's a whole nother story. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a break. And when we come back, Vernell is going to share some crazy hair stories. And guess what? I'm one of them. I'm one of the stories.
Yes.
We'll be right back.